Hi Aquarius, and welcome to your March 2020 General Tarot Forecast. This is Sky here to talk to you about the energies coming in for your month, which are really compelling. I like what I'm seeing for you, Aquarius. You guys have like just enough frustration here, just enough conflict to like actually make the changes you've needed to make for a long time. Everything to me feels appropriately transitional, appropriately lucky, and appropriately decisive for you. I'm not gonna lie, there's a bit of conflict, there's a bit of frustration, but it feels like a blessing. It's like the moment when a frustration or a conflict becomes like the biggest blessing in disguise, as that's kind of what I feel for your energy this month. It's like blessings in disguise, and like you are really starting to construct a path where it might seem tough or like cold or weary at first, but there's a strong blessing, and where it's taking you is so much bigger than what you might be able to imagine now. So Aquarius, as you might have heard if you watched any of the other readings this month on my channel, March is one of the most transitional months of the year, March and September. So here we get a big insight and a big jolt into what changes we want to make and what no longer serves us, what needs to occupy less of our time, more of our time, so on and so forth. So the way that we really move into that is by, allowing ourselves to be emotionally true. So allowing ourselves to feel what doesn't feel good, allowing ourselves to realize that that is the case. And through that emotional cleansing, purging process, we get really clear. Mercury was retrograde in Pisces. It'll go direct towards the middle of the month. And that's where we get emotional intelligence. That's where we see the connection between our emotions and our manifestation. And as we move to the end of March, with Aries time coming in, the beautiful, beautiful equinox this year, there's a great, great ability to actually turn dreams into action and to actually really become an activist of our own self, like a self-activist is what I'm feeling for you, but for everyone too. And you specifically, Aquarius, really need to start being your own personal activist or your own mentor, your own manager in some way, because I do feel that there's an important change that needs to happen for you. So you guys have Six of Swords in your reading, and that's what I look to first. Wheel of Fortune, Nine of Cups. There's a lucky move. Some of you are moving. Some of you are having a change in residence, even like a change in country, perhaps, or just sailing as well, going across the sea, going across something, going across some kind of border or something, and that feels to me to be important. There may be some hassle about crossing something or crossing someone, but that is what is putting you onto the right path. You might even be prevented, or you might be stopped from doing something that you wanted to do, whether it's for like financial reasons or what have you, but it feels right. It feels like that leads you to the right place. Again, a detour with this energy is almost a good blessing. So again, don't try to not get too discouraged with things. It's really the most important thing for Aquarius this month, because you guys have no space really to be discouraged. Like that's really your biggest fear, is just seeing that maybe something doesn't quite go the direction you wanted to, and then there's like discouragement or fear for how that is like disputed or something. And that's really the biggest problem. Otherwise, you have all this major arcana, 3 major arcana cards. I always say if there's 3 or more, it will be a memorable month. So you are doing something memorable here, and you are creating really abundantly, and you have good luck. You have a lot of also cognitive ability. Page of Swords, Ace of Swords, Six of Swords says to me that your mind is really sharp. Maybe you're like you've overcome some kind of health problem or overcome some kind of brain fog, and you're really sharpening up, which is what I had said for you guys over the last few months. It's like air signs, Aquarius, we got to sharpen up a little bit, and it seems like you guys have really made that happen and really started to like polish and sharpen up and see things for what they are. So on that note, Aquarius, I'm going to keep moving quickly. Let's get into your week to week. There will be an extended reading on Patreon where I'll get into the central theme, add new cards, and do the supporting themes as well. So that'll be linked below, as well as at the end of the video if you guys want to check it out and support my channel on Patreon. I'm so grateful for those of you that can, because it really makes this possible. And also, you get the readings early and no ads as well over on Patreon. So it's a really good value. Again, that's linked below. But yeah, Aquarius, week number 1, you guys have the Lovers rooted down by Wheel of Fortune. So a fortunate decision needs to be made in the first week. If you're at a crossroads, or if you're needing to make a decision, I wouldn't hesitate on it. I would do it in the first week. I wouldn't draw it out too long, because to me it feels that you need time to then cope with that decision, or time to then process before we get into the equinox. It also feels like you have a good luck during the first week as well as in the second week, and it feels like it's almost hard to make an unfortunate decision in the first week of March. So I would go for it. I would do what your heart is telling you. Also, there's a chance to like meet somebody in the first week. So if you're single, you could meet like a soulmate or twin flame type of person. So it's an interesting time to date if you feel that there's nothing like bigger at stake for you right now. Although I kind of feel that there are bigger things at stake for you. So maybe like love and relationships are not the main focus. And if they are, like, that's great. But I would really also implore Aquarius to think about what else is bigger right now too. Because if you guys saw in the Pisces video, which will resonate for everyone because it's Pisces season, we are dealing with like relationship to source, relationship to universe, God, whatever that is to each person, and that might also take some of your attention here too. Like, what is the grander scale of what I'm doing? What is the bigger process behind this, or undermining, or over, or what's the word? There's the word coming through. Kind of elevating or ascending what I'm doing. Am I elevating? Am I stagnating? You know, Pisces time really gives us a lot of information, like for free, about our status with things, and that usually comes through emotions. And Aquarius is a bit of a emotionally detached sign at times, so it can maybe be a little bit confusing to process it all, but I feel like you guys can do it. You feel really sharp to me. Week number 2, you guys have the 9 of Cups rooted down by 5 of Wands. So yeah, again, when conflict, represented by 5 of Wands, conflict, arguments, indecision, not purposefully not coming to, a solid conclusion about things, inner voices that are saying otherwise about our decisions. All of these things can become your greatest blessing here. 9 of Cups is about a blessing or luck or a new path opening up that is like a godsend or a windfall. So it's interesting to see those two merge together. I don't see that combination often. But again, this is like the energy of like a blessing in disguise, okay? Thanking your critics. Receiving a critique or a punishment or an unfairness just to motivate you to go the direction you've always needed to go. You know what I mean? That's all that we can really say about that week. Week number 3, Aquarius, you have 6 of Swords rooted down by the Hanged Man reversed. So you are still a little bit indecisive, and that will get better by the 4th week. But yeah, 3rd week, equinox comes on, and we're all feeling that hyper transitory energy. Like, whoa, time to make a change. Whoa, it's really new. Because, and I'll just try to prepare you guys for that now. We are going into a double 1 energy, which it has been 12 years since we've felt that in this way, where we have Aries season along with the rat year. Both are the energy of 1. So these are starting over points. These are restarts. These are brand new ideas or notions coming in. And I would really also encourage you to think about like what that is. Can I make space for that? And think about, okay, what was even here just a few weeks ago? Is that still right? Is that maybe a really old, outworn mentality? Because the beginning of March, Aquarius, is super, super ancient, old energy coming in. And that changes in the 3rd week. We go from that 12 energy to that 1 energy in the 3rd week of March. So it will be kind of a sudden shift. And I don't want you to even feel like you have to like predilect yourself toward it or make a prediction now, because we just kind of have to get there and see what that entails. And that will be most telling. But yeah, specifically toward the 3rd week, again, the Hanged Man reversed indicates that you're not really satisfied with keeping still or even doing the safe thing or the tried and true. And that's a bit of a tough place to be, really. And, 6 of Swords is never a super easy change either. It is a transit. It is a transition. But, it's like our vehicle of transportation or our vehicle of transition has a lot of holes in it. So it can sometimes represent an unsturdy chance. So I want you guys to maybe sit with what that means for you too. The unsturdy chances, or the desperations to just have mobility that the Hanged Man reversed indicates you feel is so necessary. I would do it really smartly. I would get really intelligent with what you're doing. And that's why the 4th week is going to be so good for you. Ace of Swords rooted down by Page of Swords, because you're going to see so clearly in the 3rd week what is like a unsturdy chance or what is a bit of a risk, because there is the energy of risk in this reading. I will say that the Wheel of Fortune, 5 of Wands, 6 of Swords, Hanged Man reversed. Yeah, you guys, you might kind of go too big as well. Again, we have Jupiter in Capricorn almost all of this year, and that indicates that we got to keep things a little bit safe and a little bit small. And then when Jupiter comes into Aquarius next year, and you have Saturn going into your sign as well, and then retrograding back this year, lots of outer planet activity coming toward you, Pluto coming slowly toward you. I can only imagine the anticipation that Aquarians feel, really starting now and maybe for quite a while now. So try to not let that anticipation become what do I want to say? I know the word, but it's not really coming to me. Don't let that anticipation become your biggest vulnerability. Okay. It's a weird thing. It's you want to really patch up the vulnerability and make sure that you're, vulnerable to yourself, but not letting other people take advantage of your vulnerabilities. Again, 6 of Swords can kind of be we have a lot of loyalties and maybe we're being quite selfless and, having, being the caretaker for other people, driving other people's around. In the card you have the woman and the child, and maybe this is totally appropriate for this person to be driving them around or to be doing it for them. But I do sometimes see with 6 of Swords that we're piling people into the boat who need to go their own way and who need to make their own progress, but we're letting our abundant energy care for them. And of course that is appropriate in parental roles and so on and so forth. It's just about discretion. Are people trying to get a free ride? I have seen that energy around too, where if you're not particularly direct and clear that you're not going to be taken advantage of, people will kind of try to take you for a ride and, charge you a lot or be a little bit of a mooch as well. The energy of the mooch is kind of around where people are I'll just come stay at your house for a little while, and then 2 months later they're still there and things like that. So do watch out for that there. But 4th week, again, great sharpening for Aquarius, sharpening energy. Really it's people can't get things past you. You're going to really be just privy to things around you, and you're not going to be one to be taken advantage of, and people aren't going to realize that. And I want you to think about what this sharp mindset or these skills that you're developing and polishing. To me, this feels like the energy of intellectual property. So maybe some of you have a great idea for a brand or a new creative project or just something that deals with implementation. And I would really pursue that, because that will not betray you. To have a new idea like that in equinox time, to see an ace card. I know that all the signs that are getting the ace cards for March are really blessed, because they are also the energy of 1. So to have a 1 in the double 1 is okay, we get it. We get that things can't go on the way that they have, but at the same time, it's a Capricorn year, and we have to still be mature and be smart about things and take with us what is valuable, and basically not if we're imagining ourselves as nomads, in this equinox time. It's are we going to take the gold with us, or are we going to take the grease with us, right? And we're thinking which one is more valuable. And, the Capricorn, whereas if we didn't have the Capricorn influx of energy this year and it were a double 1, we wouldn't really be concerned with what we're taking with us. We'd just be going, But here we are with this really valuable thing and this other thing that is not so valuable. And it's which are we going to choose? And we have to take the gold, hopefully. And this is all proverbial, but yeah, you guys are going to know that clearly. And watch out, though, for being too direct with how smart you are, because once people really label you as the cunning, smart person, then they start to really try a lot harder. And I would just watch out for bragging, or watch out for any type of just so you know, I'm the smartest person here, or just so you know, I'm the best manipulator here if I had to, and things like that. Watch out for, because again, rat year can kind of be yeah, we're all chatting about all of our sort of advantages and stuff. And that's how like a villain or an antagonistic person thrives during a rat year, is it's really easy to figure out what people are good at and what people aren't good at. And through knowing that, they can kind of like take people for a ride. You know, you can encounter the con artist, things like that. So keep it quiet to some degree and just work diligently on your craft and on your own self-development, and there will be no errors, Aquarius. I'm rooting for you guys. Beautiful month. Some of the best energy of the whole zodiac this month, I think. And on that note, Aquarius, let's go ahead and jump over to Patreon for the extended. We have 3 more cards coming up, central themes, supporting factors, and we'll get a new perspective. If you're new to my channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button below. It's a really great way to support and help out. And also hit the like and comment below. Let me know how it's going for you. I use your feedback to make the readings more and more accurate, so I really appreciate that. Okay, guys, it's linked below as well as in the center of the screen, and we will jump over to Patreon now. Much love. Talk to y'all soon. Bye.